day, folks. This is Dr. Arvind Kanchi, chair of the ISN Education social media team, and I am coming to you with yet another interview of a speaker, the pre-Congress interview of speakers session that we do. And this is something that helps us introduce speakers and their subjects to folks on social media and try to get them interested to come and join the WCN. Today, we have with us Dr. Nivedita Kamath. She is an assistant professor of pediatric nephrology at the St. John's Medical College Hospital. She's very well known in pediatric circles in Bangalore, and she's uh, given us a lot of publications in pediatric nephrology. She's going to be speaking on adapting teaching tools for PD in resource limited settings. This is her topic in the WCN, and I look forward to hearing her talk at the WCN. But first, Dr. Nivedita, why did you choose pediatric nephrology? I must tell folks all over the world that in India, you have an MD in pediatrics first, and then you go on to do your DM or your subspecialization in nephrology, and that's how you become a pediatric nephrologist. So, Dr. Nivedita, why did you choose pediatric nephrology?
Um, it's quite by accident, I must admit, that I never envisioned or I never saw that as my dream or destination. I was most interested, of course, in pediatrics. And like you said, I did my MD in pediatrics. And when I came to think of a subspecialization, I was most interested in critical care. And fortunately for me, there was an opening in the unit of pediatric nephrology at St. John's. And I thought that was a good opportunity to join the institute. And I was really inspired by the great work that was done by the pioneers of pediatric nephrology in Karnataka and India, Dr. Kishore Phadke and his team, Dr. Arpana Iyengar and Dr. Anil Vasudevan. And I think that inspired me to take on pediatric nephrology as a subspecialty. So that's how I think pediatric nephrology chose me rather than me choosing the subject. Once I joined, I felt there was a good balance of intensive care, which was my first interest, plus a little bit of chronic care, and it was a very niche specialty at that point. It's expanding much more now, but there are still very few pediatric nephrologists in the country.
And Dr. Nivedita, coming to your topic on what you're going to speak at the WCN, the World Congress of Nephrology, next month virtually. It's a virtual conference this time. You're speaking on teaching tools in PD and how you adapt it to resource limited settings and so on. What exactly are you going to speak about?
So the challenges of doing PD in resource limited settings are several. And as we know from our own experience, and especially doing PD, chronic PD in children is a different game altogether, in the sense that most of our patients choose CAPD because of financial constraints. There are logistic reasons. Training patients becomes an important challenge because many of our patients are illiterate. They do not have the health literacy standards in low resource country is very poor. Teaching them to do something at home, like handing over the responsibility of doing peritoneal dialysis at home, is a huge burden, in addition to the care that required for a child with chronic disease. But it is also an untapped tool, probably because there is enough evidence to show that adequate training and proper training, retraining, and monitoring on follow up would reduce the rate of peritonitis, which is the Achilles heel of peritoneal dialysis. So we did a small study in our center, and in this talk, I'm trying to highlight the results of that study as well as look at evidence from studies in other resource limited countries to see if training can be used as an effective, cost effective tool, and how can we adapt methods of training. The guidelines mention using tools like visual, reading, writing, but we know that that may not be possible in our country or in many resource limited settings, especially in countries like India, and I'm sure in many other countries, people speak many languages. there are very few of them are written, and they may not be really literate in English. So adapting standard international guidelines becomes quite a challenge. So we are trying to see how we can adapt training tools or teaching tools to our local scenario, how we can use this to train patients effectively and reduce the rate of peritonitis, empower our patients to do peritoneal dialysis effectively, and especially so in children in low resource countries.
Considering our low resource status in India, do we still use stiff PD cats, the acute PD cats that we go with? I'm not talking about chronic peritoneal dialysis now. I'm not talking about AKI in children. Is there still a scope to use acute PD cats, the rigid PD cats that we used to when we started practice way back about 2 decades ago? Is that still being used?
Yes, absolutely. I'm sure in many countries like ours, especially in children, we still do use stiff catheters for acute peritoneal dialysis. We do conduct training programs. Probably the most important reason is the easy availability of these catheters. The softer catheters we know are recommended. We know the advantages. We know they are much safer, but they are not easily available. They are much more expensive, especially in children. We feel that sometimes just with sedation, it may not be possible to, um, uh, sedation may not be enough to insert a soft PD catheter because it needs some kind of tunneling to make sure the cuff is in place. So we still prefer PD catheters with the goal that doing some PD is better than doing no PD. And we have found even in our center, as well as in many of the centers of our trainees, that the results are extremely good if we take precautions and if we do use the right technique. So adequate training is very important. Of course, if we can shift over to soft catheters, that would be ideal. But in the absence of that, stiff catheters, I think, have saved a lot of lives.
Let's look at what do you do after a tough day's work at the hospital? What are your hobbies and so on? How do you relax?
So usually coming back home is a lot of time to be spent with family and children. So that is how most of the rest of the day goes on. But my hobbies in particular are I enjoy listening to Carnatic music, and I have been in the past in my younger days learning Bharatanatyam. So I still enjoy watching performances, and I enjoy now watching my daughter learn it and sort of relearn with her. So that is how I spend my the rest of my day.
Thank you, Dr. Nivedita Kamat. I will ask all of you to join in to listen to her talk at the World Congress of Nephrology coming up in April. Folks, do register at the link provided and join us in this feast of nephrology learning. Thank you.
Great amount of work that is done by the social media team. I think organizing the virtual conference at such a huge scale for the first time is a big task, and I think the social media team is doing a great job in, sort of advertising, getting people interested, and so all the best. And I hope the conference turns out really well. I'm extremely grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much.